All right. Hey, how's it going? Back working in the yard. Not gonna do anything major today. I'm honestly just working on getting this done here. So I'm gonna set you back in the shade over here as much as I can. The chickens are gonna be off to the side making noise, but I'm basically laying out a sidewalk here. Yep, this is it. So you'll see in the other part of this video in the B-roll right now, or maybe not B-roll. Maybe I won't do any B-roll. Maybe it's other videos that I'll just post. But I did all those pads right there in preparation for a patio cover. And those were all mixed by hand, which is why one is a little bit darker gray than the others. Oops, I messed that one up. And the reason how, or the way it got that way is because of a bigger shovel, 2 different shovel sizes. I gotta go get my gloves. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just continue to work. That's all I'm gonna do. I need to knock this out. So I think the most interesting thing is for me to not try to entertain or anything. Maybe, I don't know. But creating a planter right here up against the house, some people might think that's not a good idea. Water is going to fall down into that planter and into this planter. There's already soil up against the house. So there's no difference in having a plant next to the house. You know, a simple planter, it adds structure, you know, dimension to your landscape. So there's gonna be lawn here, planter here, and it's gonna go along there and allow me to break things up, you know, break up the monotony of the house. All right. I'm still not sold on the fact that I do want a planter right here. I could easily take that, you know, I could make this just one sidewalk that goes along. But if you're walking on a 3-foot sidewalk, I could make it a 4-foot sidewalk. I could go right here. So that way it's a little bit easier to walk down the side. But it seems to me like it's better if I have a sidewalk off to this side over here. It would buy me some more area, some more space over here to put grass in. I know, I shouldn't be debating it, but I am. It feels like the right thing to do is put a planter in, but make it 18 inches instead of 21. Okay, so if I'm gonna go 18 inches, I have to push this over. But if I'm not going to, all right. I think that I need to keep the 21-inch planter because if I have a planter, why make it small? Why have a planter? Why not just make it all concrete? You know? Maybe that's the better way to go. It's just to make it all cement. Let's make it a bigger pad. Make it 4x4 is, so 4x4, a 4-foot pad would be big enough because then you wouldn't feel like you're too close to the house when you're walking on it. And I could have a barbecue over here. I could bring the barbecue over here. And I'd have plenty of room to be able to walk around. I wouldn't have to deal with putting plants in here. I think it might be the way to go. It might be the way to go. I like, planter. But for this situation, there's not a lot of room. That's the problem. Is normally I would say, yeah, let's just throw a planter in all the way down, just to go with the planter. But because there's limited room from here to there, we've got the chicken coop. It makes me think that the better way to do this is to go with a 4-foot planter, because then I would have 3 feet of usable space if something is in the way. Yep. Let's see how far 4 feet is. Let's see how far 4 feet is and see what it looks like. And that would make it to where, it would be easy just to go down the side yard, boom, be able to walk, easy access. I'd have to make sure I have a post in the ground that I would put cement around. So I would put a post in for, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to put a gate. I was thinking about separating this area from that, but I think the gate, there's not going to be any separation here. I think the separation is going to be on the hill and over there, so that way the chicken's going to have that part of the yard. And they'll be totally fine with that. That's enough. That way I don't have to put a gate in here. Later on I can redhead a post into the ground anyway, into the cement. So I think that's fine. So I think the better way to go is to, I'm actually saving myself a little bit of space, even by putting the cement here, this far over. I was going to use all this space because before it was going to be, yep, all the way to here. It would have been all the way to here. It would have come all the way to here, but I'm saving myself some space. But I don't know, is this 48 inches? Nope, 48 inches is right there. Four-foot sidewalk. So I can go 3.5 feet, which would be 42 inches. That looked big enough to me. But 4 feet would be plenty. So I'm saving myself, yep, 8 inches. Well, no, more than that. 9 inches. Saving myself 9 inches. So now I have from all the way to here, 7 feet from the chicken coop. 7 feet. That gives me this usable space. I'll have a little planter right here and a separate area for the chickens over there. So this will be all lawn right here. All lawn here. Little planter up against that. And the lawn will be away from the house enough to have sprays. Yep. So I want to give myself more. I would be able to bring a barbecue over and put it on here if I had that, but it's still not enough space, not really. So screw the barbecue thing. Barbecue can go right there up against that wall in the planter. So one here, one there. So I'll have 2 barbecues over there and that'll be perfect. So I'm just gonna go 42 inches here. 42. Let's go and go 42 inches. All right. 42 inches is going to give me 3.5 foot sidewalk. So that way somebody doesn't feel like they're being pushed by the house. So that way, you know, the sidewalk is, you know, a nice, comfortable experience. It doesn't feel like that extra 6 inches makes it to where you're not walking like right here next to the house. It gives somebody the ability to kind of hang out over here a little bit further. It's like a foot's width is like a big difference. It doesn't feel like you're doing, you know, trying to walk a tightrope, you know. So to me, it feels better. "42 inches. Gotta go, gotta go grab some duplex nails. Okay. Got that. Boom. Boom. Level as can be. Got it. Okay. Boom. So that makes it to where I don't have to put two forms. I think it's great. How much do we need a planter? Not really much. So I think this is gonna work good. And it gives me more room everywhere. So it's perfect. So I need to figure out how long this is. I think I have a half a yard of cement out there. All I would need is about 2 bags of concrete. Maybe more, possibly. But let me see. It's 10 footer. It's 10 by 3.5. So 10 by 3 would be 10 by 3 would be 30 square feet. plus a half. So let's just multiply by 5. So 1 by 5 is 5. So it's a total of 35 square feet. Divided by 81. Is roughly how much cement I need. I'm going to do it right now. So 10 times 3.5 equals 35, okay? Excuse me. Allergies, man. And 81 divided by 35 equals 2.31. No, it's not. I did that wrong. 35 divided by 81 equals, yeah, 0.43, so about a half a yard. It'd be perfect. Excuse me. Okay, so I think that'll do it. That'll help me get rid of the cement that's out there right now. Put a joint maybe once every well, how far is this? All right, 10. So 30. Okay. So 30 feet total. I 30 divided by 5 would be 6. So that would give me 6 of them. 30 divided by 4 is not possible. $32, I think I have about 32. So 32 divided by 4 would give me 8. I would have 8 of them. So once every 4 feet is perfect. Let me check. 1, 2, excuse me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it puts me at about yeah, the planter's too big. So I have to buy myself a foot. Because I only want about a 2-foot planter around this. I only want a 2-foot planter around that air conditioning unit. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be correct. There's 8 gaps, but I only have 7 lines. So once every 4 feet is fine, but I think each one of these, since I have a foot to kill, I've got a foot, I need to buy a foot. So I have 7 of them. So that means I have to add 1.5 inches to each one, right? If I did 2, I have 7 of them. If I did 2, I would be a little bit too close to the air conditioner. So let's try it. So 1.5 inches. So 4 foot, 1 and 1.5 inches. 4 foot right there. 4 foot, 1. Yeah, 4 foot, 1. Right there. Boom. Boom. Okay. So how big is that planter? Roughly 2 feet. So 4 foot 2 is what I'm gonna go with. Okay. 4 foot 3. So each one is gonna be at about 4 foot 3. So 51 inches. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that 51 inches. Every 51 inches is going to be a joint in this sidewalk. So I'm assuming it's probably about half of this. Yeah, 82.5. So it's close enough. So it'll look good. Yep, I like it. The joints aren't too frequent. I'm gonna go out to the city sidewalk and see what their joints are really quick. See if my joints work. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where I put them, to be honest. I could go 4.5 or whatever, 4 feet, 4.5, 6 feet. Either way is gonna be fine. So I basically get to choose whatever I wanna do. So that means that a joint can't go right here. I mean, it basically means that I have to connect another piece. I have to have at least, so if I put a 2x4 in here, I have to go to here. So this is where the joint has to be. I can't have a joint here. I can't put a piece of wood out there. Excuse me. It has to go there. So right there. And let's see. Is it 42 from there? Perfect. I need to go get my saw if I'm going to do this, or I have something here that's 42 inches, which I don't think I do anyway. Nope, not that. I need that. This is the straightest piece I have, right? Yeah, that I need for a rod. This thing is so curved. So much for that. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff I have to move in order to get through here. Jeez. Oh, dang. That's hard. That's hard as a rock. That's hard as a rock. All this is bad. Yeah, all of it's bad. So all that cement can be moved on out. These need to go next. And if I leave them covered, then I won't end up getting them out of there. So this is trash. Obviously, it didn't work. Got cap here. That's cap. Hard as a rock. So, these will be the next things I load. I wonder, I could probably take a jackhammer and go right down the middle of each one of these and put a half in the trash can every day. And that'll be done. I need to get these out of the way, otherwise I won't get this cement pad done. I have to go get my jackhammer. So, here it goes. Okay, time to go. But here I am getting distracted. All right, this is part of it, right? Is not getting distracted, is keeping a good head on your shoulders as far as like what you need to do and what you want to do. Okay, so I went over there to get a 42-inch piece of wood. I ended up bringing this over, found some cockroaches. They're gonna crawl into the chicken coop and get eaten, hopefully. And this is getting loose. I want to use that shovel, but I think I should use this one. transfer shovel here instead. Now, is that 32 inches? 42 inches. I think it might be short. Yep, it's 40 inches, 48, no, it's 48 inches, perfect. Boom. Okay. Boom. So is this square? Boom. That is so square on that pad right there. So square. That means the house is square, even though I went off of the stucco. So that's gonna be square. Gotta square that off. I can put nails right there in that end, but I need to put a stake over here on this side to hold that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one in there. Take this, put 2 nails over there. Boom. Leave those toenailed a little bit so that way I can pull those later. But honestly, I can pull those out after I pull the form. It's not a big deal. But this is exactly where I want a joint. So it's gonna work out perfectly. I've got one joint there in the middle and one joint here. The joints are gonna look a little bit different, I think, because I'll show you later on. It's the radius. It's gonna be a little off. I'll do my best to match that radius though. Boom. Ooh, that needs to be pushed in over there. I need to put a stake over there. I made a mistake right here. It's okay. I can just, I do need a stake though. I gotta, before I do that, before I square that off, I have to put a stake on that form because it's bowing a little bit. I can see it. Okay, that. Okay. Yeah, it needs to be right in the center. Oh, it's 42. It's perfect. It looks, why does it look like it's bowed? To be honest, it's actually in a little bit. So we're set. It's totally fine. I'm not gonna stick that off. There's not gonna be much cement in here. So I'll save a stake. Okay. Okay. setting it right here so that way I can easily get a saw in there to cut this off. So I want a 1/2 inch of fall. I'll take a 1/2 inch of, just under a 1/2 inch of fall actually. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Boom. I think that's good. Okay. blade's getting dull. All right. Okay, so that's ready to get rid of the C-mix that's out on my my driveway. I could put a stake right there to mark basically where the to mark boom. Those marks won't go away. The other ones will probably wash off over time because of the water and the cement and such. So, probably should round this out. You're gonna learn how to form up, you know, get ready for a little bit of a cement pour here. But the main thing that you're gonna wanna know in this video is my focus is to help you get out of a rut. So for instance, if you know there's something you should be doing, you know, just start doing it and just start working on it. Just get out there and do a little bit of something, and then hopefully it'll motivate a little bit of something in you to go ahead and start that project. And if there is a project that you've been putting off, you know, when you're watching me do this throughout this video, maybe start doing that, because my goal isn't really to entertain, right? I would love to be able to entertain, but it's more of just to encourage you to start doing whatever it is that you need to do, because that's my struggle all the time as well. I think everybody, right? So pick a project, and as you are doing that project, use what I'm doing here as encouragement, motivation to continue to do it. So I'm probably going to do this for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe something like that. So hopefully I can help you somehow.